Hello. I like this. I hope you can hear me okay. I'm at the beach and I wanted to record a podcast episode. And so here we are. Yay. Now I can do audio and visual wherever the heck I go. Super cute. We're going to talk about relationships today. I did a post on Substack that you may or may not have seen. And the first thing I did actually was a poem about love. And honestly, it's a little bit of like a possible punch to the gut and possibly a hard one to see or hear. And if it's not, and it doesn't resonate with you, then yay. Or also like getting curious about why it does or doesn't. And if it does resonate, well, let's chat. So on my one-on-ones or in my personal spaces or even on my TikTok lives, which I'm sort of in and out of doing, by the way. So always message me if you want like a deeper read into something, intuitively or tarot. And in a lot of those spaces, and even honestly coming from more of a personal place anyways, is the notion of love and what we maybe weren't taught or aren't taught, or that we think love is, or that we might even be taught love is. And we're bridging on more of the potential toxic side of love. And toxic is such a big word. It doesn't have to be toxic, but some energies can lean into that toxic side potentially. And that can come from ourselves, which typically our outsides are a reflection of what we either feel or want to learn more about internally, and what gets reflected, in our outside world. And I guess for a long time, whether I wouldn't consider this toxic, but it leans into what I'm talking about within toxicity in general, is I was looking at love subconsciously from a place of how do I gain love, gain someone's love, and how do I keep it? And it was sort of this misunderstanding that I built up from possible trauma in my childhood where, certain people did or didn't show up, or it was really inconsistent. And what I learned later was, for me, unsafe, like emotionally or mentally. And that was my experience, and that's where my lessons resided within. And because of the sort of inconsistencies, we'll call them, I learned, or thought I should learn subconsciously, that I wanted to like cater to someone, make sure everything was okay with someone, and essentially sacrifice or self-abandon myself to make sure that love still existed around me, or that, like everything was okay. So if everyone else is okay, then I must be okay too. Whereas now, as I grow and age, I realize that comes from myself. It's of course much more complex and multifaceted than even just what I'm mentioning here. But at the same time, starting to self-resource, connect with myself, discover my worth, and that in fact, like pulling or pushing or trying to do things to gain love or keep love, like, hugs to myself and hugs to you if you resonate with that. It really stems from like an unhealthy sort of understanding about love. And again, no judgment to myself or anyone experiencing this sort of either like thoughts, conscious, subconscious, or the behaviors around it, or chasing certain people or places or things that are a little bit unsafe and maybe more chaotic. Sometimes if you're more used to chaos in your childhood, whether you're aware or not, it can seem, in quotations, safe to be in those spaces where people don't show you love. They don't choose you. And it's a reflection of you. Are you choosing yourself? Like amongst this love situation or these situations, are you choosing yourself? Which means if you're choosing yourself, would you actually choose these people or this person who aren't showing you safe, gorgeous, juicy love? And yeah, so it's bringing like consciousness and choice into romantic situations, whether you're looking for love or even in romantic love. And if you're in a romantic situation, again, super complex, diverse, multifaceted, and we're moving into, certain area of romantic relationship, that in your current situation, there are ways to build upon, let's call it conscious love. And what I mean by conscious love is that type of love is infused with like choosing each other, with self-reflection on both ends, curiosity within ourselves and with us, and a desire to want to understand more and more, and so many other aspects. But I like to call that kind of conscious chosen love, and the reciprocation of. And in a relationship, you can work towards that and build that if both parties are conscious, and if both parties want to, I should say. It doesn't have to be one certain way. Like your consciousness does not necessarily have to match the other person's consciousness. It's just that, are you in alignment, essentially, which can be, big or little. Are you in alignment within that capacity? And do you want to continue to choose and like learn and unlearn and expand and learn some more? Like what are your needs? What do you want from a relationship? Do you want, or are your needs calling for more internal connection or growth or change? Are you looking for a change or like a change or with your current connection? Or are you looking for a change and you need something completely different, or you need time to yourself, or my toes, my feet, yay. Or like, what do you need? And so there's this within my blog post and within this podcast, there's this essence of like what you desire, like either what you want to manifest within your romantic life or your current relationship, and what are the bits of awareness you're holding around that, and the choices that you are choosing, and vocalizing to yourself, to your journal, or to your partner, like this is what I need, or this is what I'm looking for. Like, can we talk about this? Like, how does that feel for you? Is this something that, you'd be interested in for our growth and evolution for yourself, or even a little bit for me, and that you could tie it within your own personal growth too? Like, where are we at? Like, what can we do? Understanding your needs can be a really beautiful, not can be, it is a very beautiful and kind of like important thing to also connect to overall, and continuously, because we change and we evolve every day, all day, every freaking day. We keep changing. And so it's like bringing that notion into the picture as well, that like our, hey, things are different than even yesterday. Can we talk about that? Or I felt a certain way and I was speaking this way, and things have changed, but I know what my needs are now. Or I'm upset and I don't know why, but I need to understand why, so I can see what my need is and what's not being met, so that I can communicate it effectively to you and see if you're able to step in with me or what I need, and having both parties sort of being in that space in their own way, because everyone is so unique and different, and everyone's path is going to look different. And again, it's bringing that conscious choice, especially within yourself, of like, does this feel aligned? How does this feel? It's okay to continue to check in to your current relationship, or to your dating life, or to future or current people, to see like, is this still aligned? It's okay. And in fact, it's quite healthy to ask yourself questions. I wouldn't say if you're in the space of questioning it all day, every day, would I consider that healthy? Not necessarily. But what I mean is just having the space and openness to continuously check in on the alignment and see, how you are and how your partner or how the people are in your life to like moving towards a common growth goal at this time or into your future. I see things in relationships very movable. um, I love relationships. I love relationship. I love partnership. I love all that it brings. I also really loved being single. I'm currently in a partnership, and it's really expanding my brain being in this really awesome, healthy, chosen relationship. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. I don't think either of us would say that our relationship is perfect all the time. But what is perfect about it is that we have the common desire to continuously like check in with each other and listen and really hear and like take active steps on our own level and as a team to make sure we feel seen, heard, and loved. And that if we don't understand, we're going to work to get there. And that is so huge for me. That's something that I didn't fully understand before. I had different ideas of love and different examples of love, and they were all beautiful and also like in their own way. And I was on my path in my life to learning what like healthy love meant to me and looked like to me. And as that will continue to shift and evolve into my future, I'm like, oh, like I even thought I had safe love before, but my level of self-abandonment was so high in that relationship that I thought was so healthy because I thought they were so awesome. My abandonment was so high, and I was also accepting a lot less than I actually needed and felt that I deserved. I just didn't know how to understand that or communicate that. And it ultimately, like for me, led to my demise. It led to like an increase in anger and an increase in like situations that were kind of bullshit where I was like, what the fuck? Like, what's going on here? I thought this was a safe space. And as, two parties with good intentions tried to create that, it was not that for me. And it was a lesson for me in my growth and my journey to like, what does healthy love look like? And I got to tell you, I had years I had 7 years where I was like, I was dating and having fun, and I was having a great time, consciously so too. Like you can have fun too, and I knew I was on this journey to understand myself more, and that I was also like, I've always been on this like deep inner, like driven, very curious, but like, I know I'm going to figure this out love story. Like I knew I was going to figure out my love story, or get to a place where I could even be on a platform of understanding healthy love to expand on that. So it took me 7 years. It doesn't have to take everyone 7 years. Heck, it could take like a day, or it could take a decade. I don't know. It's kind of, it's not up to, it is up to you. I mean, that's such a big saying. It's up to you. Like, it's up to me. I was 7 years single. Kind of, like I wasn't fully ready, but I was ready at the same time. I wasn't ready. I was ready. And I was dancing around this idea of like, I like being single, but I think I want something more, but not yet. And it was just like, I just didn't know. And so I wasn't consciously choosing myself. So we can effectively, especially with spirituality and like timeline as an example, which is not the same here than it is like up there, whatever you want to call it, or around us. It is not the same, the timeline, but you can effectively shift and alter the trajectory of timeline for certain things in your life based on your lessons, what you desire, what you want to experience more or less of. You can ask for that. I have a beautiful friend of mine, and I understand the and want to share or like acknowledge the aspect of privilege on so many levels that like I myself and so many of us hold a level of privilege that is like unlike, it's beyond what some people will ever experience or understand or something like that. So I want to acknowledge that and place that here. And I also want to say I'm speaking from a place of privilege, I would say, for sure, where I can really have the space to think about it and talk about it. And, if you know my story of the unintentional porn star, which is still a podcast, but if you know that story, like, oh God, that was awful, still resides an awfulness within my soul, and also was like the biggest growth lesson for me like ever in my lifetime. Like, talk about self-love, fuck. And I also, within the privilege that I acknowledge, I also worked very fucking hard to create safety for myself. Like, I had no idea what that meant or looked like for me, and what that meant for me, not necessarily what safety and security looks like for others. It's like, what did that mean to me? Like, even thinking of myself as like a nomad or something like that, I had to understand what that meant for me, what was safe and secure about either being a nomad or not being a nomad. Like, and it was on every single, because everything was lost in that scenario. And so I had to redefine everything and figure out safety and security. No wonder it took me so, in quotations, long. And it really wasn't a long time if you look at the life of someone, or lifetimes of someone, if you know what I mean. Winky face. But yeah, and like, a lot of this reflecting on love and our level of connection to our worthiness, and that our voice matters, and that our needs matter, and that we, giving ourselves some compassion if we do feel that we want to keep love around and we grip a bit, like so much compassion and so much understanding. And also, bridging that to the idea that like your needs, your desires, your feelings, your knowings, they so matter, and they're so right. Like, everything that you feel is so right. You're right. Like, you're angry, you're right. Where is that coming from? Maybe not knowing your needs or not voicing them, or someone completely obliterating your boundaries or needs. Like, you're right. You feel you want something more exciting, you're right. Can you like either take steps to choose someone else, or can you work towards that for yourself, or in your current relationship? Like, you're right. Like, how cool is that? Like, you're right. Like, what you're feeling and experiencing, yeah, you're right. Like, I don't know, I think that's so cool to just be like, you're right. Like, how powerful and awesome is that too, to be like, yeah, I'm fucking right. Like, you treated me like shit, yeah, I'm right. It's not to place blame elsewhere. It's just to acknowledge like a point of your truth, to work on nursing, mending, healing, releasing that. And it's not about blaming other people. It's about acknowledging what's going on within you that's true or not true, and continuously discovering what your truth is, so that when you vocalize your needs, you are actually responding to exactly what you're looking for, so that you can actually try to get there by yourself or with someone. If you don't know your needs, which, don't blame yourself if you're not entirely sure. There's still times where like, we're in a conversation, or we're in like maybe even like a challenging situation, and I'm sitting there and I'm more angry at myself for not knowing what I need to be able to tell them, to be like, this is what I need. This is why I'm upset. Like, it takes time. It's okay. It's also okay if you don't fully know what's going on. Give yourself time and space and grace, and hopefully, you can communicate to your partner, I don't know what's going on. I'm going to need some time. But I want to get there. I want to get there so we can work to like see if we can resolve this in a space together, or what your needs are within mine as well, without sacrificing any of your needs, but working together to collaborate. I'm a person who's very attuned, and also I feel the energy of words, and they mean so much to me. And so the word, like, as an example, compromise versus collaboration or creation, like, for me, I scrap the word compromise, because for me, what that means, or what it meant to me, or what it has ties to that doesn't feel good for me, is it's self-abandonment. It's like gripping for love. It doesn't have to mean compromise means that. Like, you can have your own version of compromise and it be beautiful. But for me, collaboration and creation is like, okay, you put it on the table and you're like, how can we create from here? Like, how can we create, like, resolve, solution, care, for all of us that are on the table? Like, I almost see it as like an art project, like like working on choreography. My screen just did something funny. Together, like creating a dance together. Like, I kind of see it as that. Like, of course I see through the lens of dance, LOL, and choreography. But either way, just this essence of like collaboration, creation, that you're continuously stepping into, because collaboration and creation energy especially, is like, it's new, it's new energy. whether you're pulling from other resources for inspiration or not, or from your own inner yes, like it's creation energy, and creation energy to me has like expansiveness, openness, newness, desire, like a knowing, also like just not knowing, but like wanting to go somewhere. And it has to me the like spontaneity, the presence, and the newness that is in my eyes like needed or essential for like, I don't know, every single moment and every single day, and consciously choosing like a relationship or a partnership or yourself or your friends or anything, your career, shit. Like, we're talking about worthiness. Oh my God, there's like broken glass here. Ay, ay, ay. Anyways, I will throw that out. But yeah, we're talking about all these things and consciousness and your choice, like your choice of where you're at now, what's around you, what are you going to choose and not choose, and like, how are you going to continue to move yourself from point A to point B? Not that it's really like point A, point B, but let's just, step by step. It's not necessarily a race that you finish, or a goal that you complete necessarily either. But at the same time, like, how can you take steps to continuously choose consciousness for yourself, for your relationships, and all of that? I hope to heck you can hear me on here. Funny, the wind is really high today, but I love you, and the energy was here. And if you have any desire to connect on a deeper level about like your level of connection to your needs, or if the person is like aligned or not aligned, or how you can align, like anything you want to connect on, your personal life lessons, anything, like, I am so here for it. And if for some reason I'm not, I'll let you know, but like, I can tell you I'm like 100% in to connect with you. The space that I provide is a safe space, and I do like kind of expect that back, that it's a safe space for all of us. But when we're both in that space, like, everything is welcome: humor, sadness, joy, freaking confusion, like, all the things are so welcome in the space, because you as a human are so perfect and beautiful as you are right now. And I'm like honored to connect with you and love doing so. So reach out to me if you need anything. And I hope you have a lovely day. And I hope you could hear me. Oh my God, it was 222 on the freaking, it's 2226, but it was 2222 on the freaking timer. What? You're the best. Okay, bye.